Welcome to the fascinating world of mathematics. In 1859, a shy and unassuming German mathematician named Bernhard Riemann published an 8-page paper titled On the Number of Primes Less Than a Given Magnitude. Despite its brevity, this single document changed the landscape of mathematics forever. In it, Riemann didn't just solve a problem, he invented a new way to see the mathematical universe. He introduced a profound connection between continuous functions and the discrete jumps of prime numbers. Today, we will explore the most important unsolved problem in mathematics, the Riemann hypothesis. We will break it down step by step, understanding why a $1 million prize awaits whoever can finally prove what Riemann saw in his mind. To understand Riemann's vision, we first need to look at prime numbers. Primes are numbers divisible only by 1 and themselves, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. Think of them as the fundamental atoms of arithmetic. Every other number is built by multiplying primes together. However, despite being the basic building blocks, their distribution along the number line appears completely chaotic. Sometimes they are clustered together, like 11 and 13, and sometimes there are massive gaps between them. For centuries, mathematicians like Carl Friedrich Gauss tried to find a pattern, discovering the prime number theorem, which estimates the amount of primes up to a certain point using logarithms. But it was only an estimate. The true, exact pattern remained hidden in the chaos. The first major breakthrough linking this chaotic sequence to elegant continuous math came from the legendary Leonhard Euler in 1737. Euler was working on infinite series and discovered something miraculous. He proved that an infinite sum of fractions, known as the harmonic series, is mathematically identical to an infinite product involving only prime numbers. This is known as the Euler product formula. Imagine taking all the chaotic, unpredictable prime numbers, putting them into a specific infinite multiplication machine, and getting out a smooth, predictable fraction series. Euler's equation was the first bridge between the discrete world of arithmetic and the continuous world of calculus. Decades later, Riemann took Euler's infinite sum and gave it a name, the zeta function, denoted by the Greek letter zeta. The zeta function is defined as the sum of 1 over n to the s from n equals 1 to infinity. If you plug in the number 2 for s, you get a famous result involving pi squared over 6. For any real number strictly greater than 1, the function converges to a beautiful, predictable, finite value. But Riemann wasn't satisfied with just real numbers. He realized that to truly unlock the secrets hidden inside Euler's equation, he needed to expand the domain of the function. He needed to look beyond the standard number line. This is where Riemann performed his genius stroke. He fed complex numbers into the zeta function. A complex number has two parts, a real part and an imaginary part, usually written as a plus bi. Instead of exploring a one-dimensional number line, Riemann was now exploring a two-dimensional mathematical landscape called the complex plane. Through a powerful technique called analytic continuity, he stretched the domain of the zeta function, allowing it to evaluate almost any complex number. The flat equation suddenly became a vibrant 3D landscape of peaks and valleys, mapping the deep underlying structure of numbers. When analyzing this new vast complex landscape, mathematicians are obsessed with finding the roots or zeros of the function, the exact points where the zeta function equals absolute zero. Riemann quickly noticed that the function hit zero at every negative even integer, -2, -4, -6, and so on. Because these were relatively easy to find, mathematicians dismissively call them the trivial zeros. However, Riemann also discovered an infinite number of other zeros located in a mysterious, infinitely tall vertical band between 0 and 1. This region became famously known as the critical strip. The non-trivial zeros hidden in this strip hold the absolute secret to the prime numbers. And this brings us to the Riemann hypothesis itself, an elegant statement that has baffled the greatest minds for over 160 years. Riemann hypothesized that all non-trivial zeros in the critical strip lie exactly on a single perfectly straight vertical line precisely where the real part equals 1/2. This is called the critical line. He checked the first few zeros by hand and they all fell perfectly on this line. Today, supercomputers have calculated trillions of these zeros, and astonishingly, every single one of them aligns exactly on this 1/2 coordinate. Yet proving that it holds true for infinity remains the holy grail of modern mathematics, carrying a $1 million prize from the Clay Mathematics Institute. Why does this perfectly straight line of zeros matter? Because these zeros act exactly like musical frequencies. In the same way that combining different sound waves creates a complex symphony, combining the waves generated by the non-trivial zeros perfectly corrects Gauss's rough estimate of prime numbers. If the Riemann hypothesis is true, the apparent chaos of prime numbers is actually a perfectly tuned mathematical symphony, balancing on the razor's edge of the critical line. This isn't just abstract theory. Our modern digital security, like RSA encryption that protects your bank accounts and private messages, relies heavily on the behavior of large prime numbers. Understanding their exact distribution touches the core of global security. Bernhard Riemann died at just 39 years old, but his 8-page paper remains a monumental pillar of human thought. He saw a deep, hidden order in what appeared to be pure randomness, teaching us that with the right perspective, chaos is just a pattern waiting to be discovered. References: John Derenbury, Prime Obsession, Bernhard Riemann and the Greatest Unsolved Problem in Mathematics. Carl Sabag, The Riemann Hypothesis, The Greatest Unsolved Problem in Mathematics. Bernhard Riemann, Über die Unsolved at Prime Cellen über eine Gewitterungsgröße, 1859.